Welcome, everyone. Another exciting Thursday night. Um, we are two men in a room. This is our show. I'm generally known as the angriest man in the world, but I don't know if I'm the angriest man in Orlando today. But we'll explain that in a minute. We have our co-host.
Vernell, I'm also from Orlando. So, okay, Anthony, I already know you because of the foolishness that's going on with your friend. So let's just go on get into it because I already know what you finna say.
Okay, we're gonna get into that, but just for a second, think about this. Ever feel like your IT bill is a ticking time bomb? Hidden charges, out of scope surprises. It's enough to make any business owner lose their mind. We're the managed service provider that says no to billing nightmares, no more unexpected fees, no more gotcha invoices, just straightforward flat rate pricing for all the IT support you need. We're talking unlimited help desk support, 24/7 cybersecurity monitoring, network planning that actually makes sense, and expertise that runs deeper than the Mariana Trench when it comes to Microsoft products. We keep your systems running smoothly to protect you from those digital bad guys and help your business grow. And the best part, you'll know exactly what you're paying every single month. No fine print, no nasty surprises. So if you're tired of being nickel and dimed by your IT provider, it's time to switch to the clear, simple choice RxIT. We're the cure for IT billing headaches. IT peace of mind guaranteed. Visit www.rx-it.com. That's www.rx-it.com. Great IT sources. All right, so let's get into it.
I already know you finna make me
Breaking
mad. I already know you finna make me mad, but go ahead.
breaking news here. If you haven't been paying attention for the last 3 hours and you don't have a cell phone or anything, Donald Trump has been guilty on all 34 charges. It came out about 5 o'clock or so. There was a little miscommunication because I had gotten a message saying that the jury was going home for the night and nothing was going to get solved. And then all of a sudden, I'm in my car, I'm driving home, I got the radio on. They're saying the verdict is in. And then they read all the counts, all 34, guilty on every one. And so what happens from here? Well, it's going to appeal. So there'll be an appeal process for this. There is a sentencing date, which is July 11th, which is 4 days before the Republican National Convention, which is July 15th, where they choose the candidate for the Republican Party. So it's going to be an interesting month and a half to see how all this starts to shake out. But I'm curious about what your word is for now. What do you think about all that?
You already know. You already know. First of all, he's been guilty of 34 felony charges, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let's just go and break it down.
Okay.
34 felony charges.
Yes.
Now,
He's a convicted felon,
he's
as
a
they
convicted
say.
felon.
Right.
I personally think he need to go to prison.
For what?
Honest. What you mean for what?
For what?
He was found guilty of 34 felonies. And I understand he's not gonna go to prison because he was the president. He's Donald Trump. I get all that. But just look at the. Let's just think twice. Let's just think about it. If he was the little man, right, with
Right.
34 felonies, you already know what's gonna happen.
Well,
You
okay.
already know.
If he was the little man, this would have been a misdemeanor charge, and it would have been basically
No.
a fine.
No, we taking it as 34 felonies. Let's just say somebody random out there with 34 felonies, charged with 34 felonies, and the verdict is guilty. Guilty is guilty. They
But
read it. They
but
came
what was
back.
the case? What was the case?
I ain't got time to read all those charges. It was 34 felonies. That's all I'm looking at. 34 charges. They were all felonies. So you don't even try to beat around the bush with it. It is what it is. Now we already know he probably gonna get probation, an anchor monitor, house arrest, stupid stuff. No, he need to be bangled. He need to be bangled. You already know it because it's 34. Felony is a felony, and he got 34 of them. So I don't care because he's Donald Trump. He could be Donald Trump, mama, daddy, sister, brother. It don't matter. Let's not play favorites. It is what it is. I don't care. He did what he did. He made his bed. He need to lie in it. So, hey, and I understand he's Donald Trump. I understand he got all the money in the world. I understand he was the president. I don't care. Wrong is wrong. Right is right. Because if somebody else go in with 34 felonies, you already know they getting life sentences. You already know it. They can get the same exact charges, 34 felonies, and they're gonna add up to points to make you go to prison because it's 34 felonies. It is what it is. The jury came back with a guilty verdict, so it is what it is. He guilty. It is what it is. You know this. And I understand you love Donald Trump. I get it. It is what it is. I have nothing against him, but he was found guilty. That's all I'm saying. Guilty is guilty. So why would you put him on probation, anchor monitor because he was the president? No, he need to be bangled. He need a free set of silver bangles. He need to go on in his little orange onesie that match his hair face, and he'll be all right. I'm just saying. Let's just be fair about it.
Mr. Speaker, may I have the floor now?
You go ahead. You asked me for my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
He need an orange onesie.
Okay. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, go ahead. Because I want I got to get you finna respond, and then I already know we finna go at it.
Okay, I wanted to hear your response, and that's it.
I'm just saying that I just feel like if it's 34 felonies and the jury came back with a guilty verdict, it is what it is.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. So let's break down what this case was about.
Okay.
This case was about Donald Trump before he was the president.
Okay.
Setting up a fund to put money into to essentially pay off anyone who may have had damaging evidence against him or just remarks that he did not want out into the public. Okay.
Right.
This fund was run by a convicted felon himself, Michael Cohen.
Okay.
So Michael Cohen was his attorney. Let's just say this, not the best attorney that he could have picked.
Okay, but okay. Stop there.
Attorney.
So, okay, why did he pick him though?
This is back in the day. Maybe at the time he didn't know what Cohen was capable of, but sometimes you make friends with people who think, hey, okay, this guy's good, and then you later find out they've been stealing from you and doing other stuff on the side that may not be in good light with you.
Okay, I give you that.
So, Mr. Cohen took money out of this fund, proceeded to pay Miss Stormy Daniels. I don't have her real name on file right now. Paid Miss Stormy Daniels to essentially agree to the NDA that was signed for having an affair with Donald Trump. Okay? Donald Trump was married to Melania at the time. He had an affair with her. He shouldn't have done it, but he had an affair with Stormy Daniels at a hotel room. It was a brief encounter from what I've heard. She signed an NDA stating she would not disclose any of the details. And in the NDA, there was an amount that was agreed upon to be paid to her to basically be quiet. Okay. So the prosecutor, District Attorney Alvin Bragg of New York, decided to prosecute this case and use a federal law to kind of juice up the charges to become felonies. There have been other individuals that have been charged with, which was essentially election fraud. They used an account that they technically said was for the election, but they were using it for non-election sources. So other people have done the same thing and usually just get a misdemeanor or a fine, or sometimes they don't even get prosecuted at all. So this DA, Mr. Alvin Bragg, proceeded with a federal case, even though he's only a state attorney. He is a Lower Manhattan District state attorney. That was unbelievable how they let that go through. So I think everybody knew, being in New York, he was not going to get a fair trial because a lot of people either love him or hate him there.
It don't matter.
But you go in thinking that, hey, these charges are not to the level that they could have been or should be to warrant this federal prosecution on this guy. So I'm not surprised that it was all guilty. I actually thought there would have been some counts that were not guilty, because the way they set this up was Donald Trump did 3 different crimes, or there were 3 different crimes involving Donald Trump. It depends on how you read into this. And all the jury had to find was he was guilty of part of 1, part of 2, or all 3. So it's really unsure on what he's actually guilty of until there's an explanation put out by the jury. They're essentially just saying he's guilty of everything, which is
guilty.
Everything is evolving is also other assailants, other people in this.
But who's to say they're not going to go back and get them? They got the main source.
I mean,
that's all that matters to them. They got the main source.
Cohen's already done jail time for lying and perjury and all, and some other stuff.
Right.
So I think they were using this more as you go on the stand and say what you need to say, and then we'll let off everything else. Because what he actually said on the stand was, they asked him, did you steal any money out of the fund? And he said, yes, sir, I did. And they said, well, how much did you steal? And he said about $60,000. So, and I believe the fund was around $140,000, $150,000. You essentially stole about 40, 50% of the fund? Like, how much of that money actually went to Stormy Daniels? Like, this whole thing just sounds, and I hate the cliche, but I'll say it on here, it's a kangaroo court. This was put up to stop Donald Trump from becoming president.
No, Donald Trump did what he did. Admit it. He did what he did.
He set up a fund for money to be used to just quiet people.
Right.
Everybody does this.
No.
But everybody does it.
It was wrong. Right. Everybody do it, but he got caught. And that's what people need to realize. Like, I don't hate Donald Trump. It is what it is. But he did what he did, and he got caught. Some people don't get caught. He got caught. And so now he had a trial, right?
Right.
And they thoroughly picked the 12 jurors.
Right.
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 Okay. So, and they came back with a guilty verdict. So it is what it is.
Right.
So now, go ahead.
And I said I expected some of those verdicts to be a guilty verdict. But when you step back and look at the whole process, this is clearly juicing up charges to bring to a higher level, to try to say that this man is unfit to run for president because now he is a convicted felon.
Right. He's a convicted felon. It's over.
Right.
It needs to be over. Okay. So people was asking, will he still be able to run for president?
Yes, he will.
Which I don't think he should.
Why not?
He's a convicted felon.
There's nothing in the Constitution that stops you from being a convicted felon and being president.
Well, it stopped everybody else from being something or going somewhere or applying for something and able to not get an apartment because they got to. How you gonna run the world? Well, be the president, and you got 34 felonies.
There was actually a mayor in my former city where I used to live that got appointed and won the election, and he was in jail.
Foolishness.
So there's nothing against you running.
You
There
should
may
be
be
able to run.
something that he may not be able to vote in the state of Florida now, being a convicted felon. That
Right.
has to be looked into. But I think I think people look at this and just say the guilty. And if you here's a scenario to think about.
Mm-mm.
If you see other countries where you see presidents and prime ministers and leaders of those countries, and you see them go and arrest their opposing party leader for something like adultery, gambling, fr- fraud that is supposedly made up. What do you think of those countries when you hear stuff like that? That one president is going after another presidential candidate, or stuff like that.
I just I just think charges is charges. I feel like if you commit a crime, it is what it is. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you cross the other side of the world, the earth, the other country. I mean, I understand everybody have different rules. Every states and countries have different rules and regulations. I get it. I just feel like wrong is wrong because if it wasn't for the press, if say Donald Trump was just a regular Joe individual, okay, and had
Mm-hmm.
these same charges, you
Mm-hmm.
already know they'll throw the book at him. But since he's Donald Trump, they're not.
But I don't think it would have got to that level if this was just Joe on the street.
I don't. What?
Because
True.
you've had mayoral candidates in cities that have paid hush money to people to keep them quiet while they're
Right.
running, and you don't
So
hear anything from them
okay.
after they're
So
elected.
okay. So answer this question. So
Okay.
are you upset that he's found guilty of all 34 charges?
No.
Okay.
What I'm upset about is the scenario that I'm running. Is when you hear stuff like that in other countries, you think that that country's government is corrupt. You think that that country is going down. You think that that country is just, it's a third world country, as I labeled in the title. And this is clearly the Biden administration using the Department of Justice to juice up charges to stop the opposing presidential candidate from running and winning an election if the vote is in on November 5th. So when you see it in other countries and you think it's like, this is like crazy, like these people are like taking each other out over here, it's now happening here in a
Okay.
first world country where we were supposed to be above everybody else. We were supposed to be the best of the best, you know. And the crazy thing is as Mary Jade Skywalker puts here in the comments, if I can pin it. Is it pinning? Well, she reads, why have Dems gotten away with doing the same thing or worse? It's not just Dems. It's Democrats and Republicans um, have been doing these type of things before. Like there was even the Vince McMahon hush money scandal where Vince stepped down from being the WWE president, and it wasn't found out till there were some legal proceedings and everything. But you didn't see Vince McMahon getting hauled into court and being possibly thrown into jail. And this is Vince McMahon. A lot of people hate Vince McMahon. So the the problem isn't the guilty verdict. The problem is with why was the trial going on in the first place?
Because
And
Donald Trump did what he did. That's why. My thing with Donald Trump, and you know he got a very big ego. He got
right,
a huge ego. And
bigger
so,
than mine. Yeah.
right. So people wanted to prove other people wrong. So that's one reason why they probably took him to court because he has such big ego to where he think he's untouchable, unstoppable. So now people could look at him in a different way. Hey, it is what it is with Donald Trump when it comes to me. I don't care whether he go to jail, stay home, whatever. It don't matter. I'm just saying rules are rules. The laws are laws. That's it. That's
Well,
all I got to say about the situation.
I agree with you on that. Uh, there are a group of people that believe this man is unstoppable.
Right.
And he is going to come back in and he is going to start going after people on the other side, the
Correct.
left side, we'll say.
Correct.
And so they are going to do everything in their power to try to stop him from winning the election.
Correct.
And I think this is just one piece in there. I still think Biden will not be the candidate for the Democratic Party. I believe
Biden need to go home and sit down and just rest for the rest of his life. That's what Biden need to do. It's time. It's time.
Well,
it's over.
Come
Biden,
August,
he don't even need to run. He just need to sit down somewhere. It's time. It's over. Let it go.
Well, that's the problem. They don't have a good candidate. So rather than trying to find a good candidate, they are simply going to smear the other side enough so that they think they can win. I still think this is phrasing. Biden's basically going to be pushed down a flight of stairs in August, break a hip, and be told, go sit down, Joe. We got this. And another candidate will come up, be elected as their candidate, and they will run against Donald Trump. If I'm a betting man, I put my money on Gavin Newsom. The name Michelle Obama came out, and the name Oprah came out.
But they both already stated that they didn't want to be bothered with it.
I know they stated that, but we still have a couple months to go. I mean, ideas can change, things can change.
Michelle says she don't want to put her family back through that. To be honest.
A large Brinks truck could show up at their house. I'm just saying, like, things can change in 2 months.
They don't need a Brinks truck to show up at, especially Oprah house. She got all the money she needs anyways. She don't need any more.
She can always use more.
Why she can always move? She ain't even doing nothing with what she got.
Well, she wants all that Hawaii real estate, so that's going to take a little bit of money to get.
Yeah, but she still won't be broke. You know that.
She's building her nice big compound out in Hawaii. And
was she competing against Tyler Perry with a compound?
Well, Zuckerberg is building one too. He's taking all his Facebook money and building one out there. And nobody knows why. That's the weird part. Nobody knows why. But let me ask you this. Do you think that this today supercharges Trump fans or gives a lot of jump and enthusiasm to Biden fans?
No, I think it supercharges his fans. Because when you love somebody or when you really a fan of somebody, a lot of people don't see you doing no wrong. Some probably saying, hey, I can't believe he would do that, and some say, hey, who cares? I still love him. So, and again, everybody's opinion is their opinion, and if they still want to support him, kudos to them. It's just me when I find out that, hey, if you want to be the leader, if I'm looking up to a leader and I found out that this is what you're doing, then, I have a problem with it,
Okay.
Because I'm looking up to you. You're the leader of this country. And then you turn around and, got all this hush money because you done did this, you done did that, you done cheated, and it is what it is. And hey, I don't care about the cheating part, because if she, accept him back, then that's her, because we all done been through someone cheating and we done cried and slobbed out the mouth and couldn't sleep, couldn't eat and all that. And we done took somebody back. So, but on the other hand, the other charges, all I want people to understand that I don't care who you are, be fair to everybody. That's all I'm saying.
I'm glad you said that, because next week we have Hunter Biden's trial with drugs, laundering money, possibly, maybe found out. What else was there? There was a gun charge that he disposed of a gun illegally. So are we going to see the same enthusiasm in that trial as we are seeing in this trial?
Well, you should. And he need to be bangled as well, because if these charges are true and he's found guilty, he need to be bangled. I don't care because your
Okay.
daddy Biden. I could care less. See, I need to be the judge.
Okay,
Eh, eh,
we are working on that. We are
Listen,
working on
I
that.
need to be the judge because I would tell him, listen, baby, I ain't got nothing to do with all that. You going down. That's the first thing I tell him. You going down as
Mhm.
soon as you found guilty. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I mean, you had, because you get a fair trial. Donald
Mhm.
Trump had a fair trial, correct?
Mm. Mm.
I know you disagree a little,
I
but
disagree on that, but okay.
it was a fair trial. Trust me, they ain't just put no anybody up there. But I'm just saying, Biden's son, scoot to the loo, my darling, and open the gates to the jail with the bangles on him, and he gone
Mhm.
on in. If he committed these crimes and had a gun on him and all this other foolishness that he got going on, and I understand everybody is human. The
Mhm.
celebrities, they go through what we go through. We just not popular. Me and you working on being popular and a
Mhm.
celebrity and all that good stuff. But it is what it is. If he's found guilty as well, same thing. You
Okay.
made your bed, you need to lie in it. So,
Okay.
you know,
So, all right. So we go forward. There are appeals that are going to be heard in
right.
numerous courts. Um, let's say this goes down the line and Trump is still seen as being a potential winner of the election.
Hmm.
Do you think I'm trying to see how I can word this. Do you think we could see a possible assassination?
I don't think you'll see assassination. I don't think so. I really
Okay.
don't. I understand you have those that really like Donald, and I understand there's some people that hate him. But I don't think there will be an assassination. I think a lot of people will be disappointed in the law.
I think it would be much greater, but if um this was talked about on another show, so I'm bringing this in. If there's a possible accident, we'll say, that could be fueled as a possible assassination attempt, this would light off the biggest powder keg in America ever. I really
Okay.
honestly think it is. I think this would absolutely, what was that movie a couple months ago? This would bring civil war. This would absolutely bring civil war. I don't think they're crazy enough to do it because I think they still believe they can still win this. So until you get to a point where the Democrats don't think they can win it, I don't think that's on the table. But it was something interesting to bring up and talk about because then you'd really be looking like a third world country where you're just taking out, because essentially that's what Vladimir Putin was accused of in Russia. He was accused of setting up a hit on one of his opposing candidates that suddenly mysteriously died of an illness just out of nowhere. The guy was healthy months before. So this is the stuff that goes on in other countries where you think like, oh no, that could never happen here. And but could it? Could it happen here?
Hey, to me, only time would tell. They got to work out all the kinks and file this and file that and bring it back to court and all this good stuff.
Oh, I'll say this: it's in appeal process now, which
Of
the
course.
lawyers will get started working on, and this frees up Donald to go and do more rallies, do more support, campaigning and supporting. And did you see the Bronx rally last week with
Mm-mm.
him? Crazy video. Several people had it. The amount of people that showed up, and it wasn't even the amount of people, it was who actually showed up. It was everyday people in the Bronx showing up who said they had voted Democrat their whole life, and now we're going to vote Donald Trump.
Mhm.
They are so upset with the way things are going right now. The economy, the way schools are going, the way the crime is in New York.
Right.
Like, they're
I agree.
absolutely disillusioned with the people that run it.
I
So
agree.
I think there is an awakening going on. And I saw a Twitter video of a candidate in California who she was actually, I got to look it up, but she was going off of some law that they were proposing and basically was saying, like, people need to start waking up and realizing that these politicians don't know what they're doing. And it was something about children. And I'll look it up and I'll probably have it for next week if we do this. And it's crazy that even I'm going to say liberal people are people who just wanted good stuff for people. You know, you wanted schools so that every child could go. You wanted a health system that everyone could get and be able to be taken care of. They wanted just people to be able to have basic needs. And it kind of got blown up into, let's just throw everything and everybody into this stuff and not care how much we're spending. And it's absolutely exploding all over the place into people's faces. And it's this could be a real turning point that in 100 years kids read in social studies books, like the crazy 2020s. Like, look what happened. Started with the pandemic and ended with whatever ends this decade.
That's
You know,
right.
you go back 100 years, the 20s were the roaring 20s. You know, you had brand new millionaires and billionaires like JP Morgan Chase and Rockefeller. Like, these guys had more money than they knew what to do with. They were making loans to the US of A. That's how much money they had. And
Right.
by 1929, everybody was poor. The stock market crash ate up a lot of people, and they were selling apples on the street for a nickel, and barely, poverty everywhere. So even in a decade, you can have a lot of crazy things happening.
Of course.
And this could be a moment that you look back in history and say, wow, like, how did that go back down?
Well, only time will tell, right?
Only time will tell.
All
All right.
right.
So, what should we touch on next? How about we touch on this story of a gentleman named Corey Harris, who was scheduled to have a court hearing. Speaking of court hearings,
Zoom.
and I guess they're still doing phone-in court hearings wherever he's at. I guess it's a little bit easier on the court system and stuff. So he gets called up and he's driving his car to a doctor's appointment. And you can notice in the background that things are moving. So they ask him, are you driving right now? And he states, yes, he's driving. And they ask him to basically pull over because you shouldn't be driving and using your phone at the same time. So the honorary J. Cedric Simpson is the judge there, and he states, what is the case about? And then looks at his record and realizes it's about a suspended license.
Right.
So
Last
this
September,
individual,
he had they got suspended, and he's via Zoom driving, talking about he going to an appointment, and you supposed to be showing up for court via Zoom for driving with no license. Now, see, I like that judge. I like that judge because the judge say, listen, okay, you is in my face driving the car when you driving under a suspended license, and then now you showing up to court via Zoom driving a car. So he said, this is what I want you to do. He said, turn yourself in no later than 6:30?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, yeah. Okay. Turn yourself in. Now that's a judge.
Yeah.
That's a judge. Baby, come on. Because you try me. It's disrespect. And now, granted, Now it was a clever one if he wanted to be viral or a celebrity, because it's all over social media. I give him that. So everybody do know who he is. They done talked about on every radio show and all, and it's all over social media, especially Facebook. I just felt like the judge did the correct thing to do, baby. I need you in Bengals by 6 o'clock. And if you
Mhm.
don't turn yourself in, you will have a bench warrant with no bond. Okay.
Right.
Because, first of all, if he really wanted to get over on the judge, right, all he had to do is pull over somewhere, get on the passenger side, put his seatbelt on, and my mama is in the stall. I'm on the passenger side. I'm right here with my seatbelt on. This joker is driving. Talking about he had to go to a doctor's appointment. Baby, you should have made it to the doctor's appointment. And while you're at the doctor's appointment, that's when you should have accepted the Zoom connection. Because now, don't worry about the doctor's appointment, because you need to be in the Bengals around 6 o'clock. And I think the judge made the correct call on that one, because it's a form of disrespect. You already breaking laws already
Mhm.
for some whatever stupid reason. I mean, your doctor's appointment couldn't have been that important because you had to go to court. I just
Well,
think he's just silly.
I'll say this: he's not the brightest boy out there.
No, yes.
There's a thing called virtual backgrounds where you can simply, and I don't think I can do it with this because it's not a green, but where you can simply just change your background. So I can
Correct.
make this wall into a mountain scene, a beautiful house, anything like that. So why didn't he just do that? I mean,
Because,
maybe you're going to hear the horn, maybe you're going to hear the engine, but at least you don't look like you're actually driving.
listen, this man
Number
say,
two, he could have just shut his camera off
no,
and
you can't
spoken
shut
to
your camera
them.
off because they had to make sure it was you.
Oh,
You
do
had
they
to
have
show
to
up
do
for
that?
court
Oh,
via Zoom. So
I've
you
done.
had to show your
Okay.
face.
Okay. I've done it where I didn't have to show my face. So,
Right. But I
yeah.
just felt like he just should have pulled over
Mhm.
when that time came,
Right.
before you hit accept connection, accept invite. You should have pulled over, got out of the car, got on the passenger side, or you should have been in the doctor's office. Baby, you should have made it there 10, 15 minutes early. That way you ain't got to go through all this. Now you got to turn yourself in. And I'm thinking that the judge is not going to get him a bond.
Well, no. I think it contempt of court may be part of this, but I think he's pretty much just sentencing him. I mean, you're admitting guilt right there.
Right. So, right. So
So
just go on sentence.
he'll be held and then have to report to court the next day, and then they'll basically work out whatever's on it.
But there's nothing to work out. You got caught. You big dummy.
Right.
There's nothing to
But
work out. Now,
so what do you think the punishment should be for that, Judge?
okay, 6 months in jail.
Okay, 6 months.
Right. Well, okay, but it's also according to how many times he has been to jail or
Right.
been to court on this same charge. Now, if this is first offense or second, okay, I give you 6 months.
Okay.
And literally tell you the reason why I'm giving you 6 months, and don't ever try me like that again.
Mm-hmm.
But 6 months.
Okay.
With a little fine. Okay. With a little fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after 6 months, 6 months probation. So you could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Because something gotta be to where, like, why he don't have a hardship license.
Well, there could be a number of reasons. Number one, he hasn't tried for it. Number two, it may not be available.
Right. And the
there
only
are
reason
some.
it may not be available because he done got caught so many times to like, you're not even getting
No,
hardship.
not necessarily.
You sure?
There's suspended license and there's a revoked license. So under a suspended license, at least where I was from, it was usually about 60 days. A revocation would get you about 4 years. So under the revocation, you're not supposed to be driving for 4 years. So then you could go and apply for the hardship license, which would give you 12 hours to drive to work and back. And that
Right.
was what they expected from you.
Right.
So if he's been pulled over for little stuff like window tint, maybe his radio was too loud, maybe exhaust was too loud, once you get up so many tickets, you may get a suspended license. He may have had a suspended license for not paying child support.
Hey,
I mean,
whatever the case may be, he the big dummy for doing what he did. And I just think that, just give him some jail time,
as Mara Jade writes, but he was only trying to get to work.
No, he was trying to get to an appointment.
He was trying to get to an appointment.
You know,
I just think if you're that dumb, yeah, you should probably get some jail time.
Yeah, you get some jail time. You think about what you just did.
A little time away.
Now he got famous for it. Now I give him that. It went viral. I do give him that.
Yes,
so when he get out, he'll be a little shopper horror celebrity. Everybody know what he did, and he probably think it's funny. And he probably don't even care about getting jail time. Some people just don't care. 6 months may not be nothing to him. So it is what it is.
Depending on what's going on in his life, yeah.
Right.
It might be a vacation for him.
I try to keep my DLs at all times. I don't play that foolishness because I'd be shivering in my boots if I ain't having that and the police got behind me. I ain't got time for it. So I make sure my registration, my insurance, my DLs always on point because I ain't got time for it. And very you good, already know it. You know how I am with the police. Child police. I ain't got time for that. Yes. It's too much.
Yes.
I get nervous when they get behind me and I got DLs and I don't be doing nothing.
I mean, I can't give him the benefit of the doubt when it's just so blatant like that.
Thank you.
There's multiple things he could have done even at that moment to change everything that was going on.
Did you think he just wanted to do it because he wanted to go viral?
Now, he could have said this, and I've seen this used a couple times. My camera is inversed, and it looks like I'm in the driver's seat, but I'm in the passenger seat.
Oh, child,
because right now I'm holding up my right hand, but it looks left, right? So the cameras, especially a front-facing camera on a phone, will inverse it.
Correct.
And
the big dummy said, "Hold on, let me pull in to the parking lot."
Multiple reasons.
Yeah, so he told on himself anyway. So I mean, you had a good point, but he also, "Hold on, let me pull in." Mm-hmm. And that's when the judge say, "Well,
they asked him, "Are you stopped right now?" And he's like, "No, hold on a minute,
right."
Hold on a minute.
So you told on yourself anyway.
I'll stop now. Oh,
yeah, so they're just dumb, just stupid for no reason.
This is as bad as when they go into court and they're like, "Okay, we're suspending your license," and they're like, "Okay," and then they walk outside and they have the court officer walk outside and they watch
and see if they drive
them get into the car, drive away, and pull them back over.
Right, and march them right on back in there and say, "Oh, so you still driving, huh?" When I just told you not to. I was in court with a friend, and the guy, 2 guys before him, one guy came up there and his attire was not even it. The judge was so mad. He said, "Listen, I don't even feel like talking to you right now. Go home, put on proper attire, and you better be back within 2 hours." So the judge was so mad with him. Because I think when you go to court, you got to present yourself with dignity and respect, because it could change things, But when you disrespect the judge, you ask for it. Well, whatever he get, he deserved because he asked for it.
The simplest thing to do is just to go in there and be like, "Yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor."
Right.
And just let the attorneys handle it. The attorneys all know each other. It's like, everybody knows everybody's deal. We all know why we're here, but let's try to work through it and just show respect and a little bit of what's the word? Caring, or that you're sorry for what you were doing. If you can at least just say, "Hey, I did what I did, but I'm really sorry about it. It won't happen again." It gives people a little bit of hope that you might not actually do it again.
Right, but only if that's your first time doing it. Now, if they see another charge, like I
There
know
are some
someone that
liberal
got.
judges that even after a third time will still let you walk out of there.
See, I'm not doing it because I feel like you haven't learned your lesson.
Well, they feel like, everybody needs a second chance.
Okay, a second chance. Okay, when you do it the first time, okay, I'm going to give you a second chance. That's the second chance. So you did it the second time, and then you do it a third time. No, you're going to continue to do it. You haven't learned anything.
The old adage, boys will be boys,
Boys will be boys. When they're going to grow up and be men. That's all I can tell you.
Remorse was the word I was looking for. Thank you, Mary J. So, yeah, let this be a lesson to anyone who does this virtual court. Put a virtual background on, or at the very least, go to a quiet room where they don't see anything. If you're on an illegal gun case and you have your guns out, that's not a good thing.
Here's a good one. He could have been, he should have got out the car and just started walking down the sidewalk. And the judge say, where you at? Hey, I'm walking to my appointment. There you go.
Yeah.
Even though your car right there, just act like you walking.
Multiple ways he could have easily just gotten through this and then went to his doctor's appointment. Perfectly fine.
Of course.
But
and what doctor's appointment that was so important that you had to drive knowing you had to go to court?
I don't know. He looks like he's obese. It could have been diabetes or something,
Did you really have to say obese?
He does. He looks like it. I mean, I cleaned that up. I could have just said he's a fat guy. He's probably got McDonald's right there in the car with him.
Okay.
On the way.
Okay.
I could have said that.
No comment. No comment.
Okay.
All right. So, so what's next? Because I have a.
Okay, we got a little bit of time left, so I do want to touch this subject real quick. 57% of people say they are stopping eating out. McDonald's has become a luxury, much like a Lexus or Porsche. So we eat out quite a bit, and we do the high-end stuff and the low-end stuff. So with what you have seen with the prices, do you think it is a luxury?
Child, let me tell you. I ain't gonna even lie to you, honey. I went to McDonald's today and I say, because I was craving a Big Mac. Okay. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go to McDonald's and I'm gonna get the meal. I was like, okay, I hope. So, baby, the French fries was giving me life because I haven't had they French fries like that in a long time. They was the golden French fries with lightly salt that I always wanted, and it just gave me life. The Big Mac was fresh. I had my sweet tea like ice, but I just don't think when it comes to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, it's a luxury. I don't think so. Now, when you go and dine in somewhere, I would consider that a luxury due to the prices or whatever. But because Wendy's, you could go get the $3, the $6, the $5 bigger bag and all that. To me, that's not a luxury. It's cheap. It's $5, $6, $7 bigger bag. But when you talking about a meal that costs $20, $30, then I still don't consider it a luxury, but whatever, because we eat out so much. But to some, it may be. But I do remember back in the days when you go out and eat, it was a luxury because people really take cooking at home every day very seriously. But, I don't cook like that. I know how to cook, but not know every day. I ain't got time for that foolishness, especially when it's just me. But I don't think it's a luxury when it comes to certain restaurants, I should say.
Okay.
Fast food chain. Like, I just don't think McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's is a luxury. Now, when you talk about you want to go to Longhorn and Outback and all that, you may consider that, but not McDonald's, no.
Okay.
And don't they supposed to be coming out with a $5 meal or something?
It's June 25th and it's only for a month.
What is it?
It's your choice of McDouble or McChicken, a small fry, a 4-piece McNugget, and a small soft drink.
Oh, so it's more like a bigger bag with Wendy's. So
Right.
did they say why they only doing it for a month just to see how it's gonna go, or
Well, it's strange because a year ago, or at least 9 months ago, they had this as an offering on their app, and it was running for $4.99 because I used to order it a lot. So it kind of disappeared. Prices went up on the burgers, and now they're suddenly bringing it back, even though it's like it was a year ago when you were still ordering this. So I think the food prices have just gotten so high that they're actually going to be losing money on this meal. And they're hoping that you go in and possibly get an extra McFlurry or a sundae or
have
say, oh, I want a bigger fry or something.
have you
Or
tried the what is called the mother's butterscotch? Something new there. I heard it was really
no, I
good.
haven't tried that yet. No,
Do you like butterscotch?
I'd try it. Yeah.
No,
I'd
it's
try
not bad. I
butterscotch
mean, I
before.
was gonna get it, but I'm trying to be on a diet from my cruise or whatever. I mean, I know diet and McDonald's don't go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's not go
So,
hand in hand.
but I was just craving it. So, and then it gave me life. It gave me life that I was looking for with them fries. It really did. So I'm not gonna lie. But it's to me, it may be to other people because I can't speak for everybody. But to me, it don't. It's not a luxury, you know.
Well, here's what I'll
Because
say. The average meal is probably $7 to $10, actually
mhm,
maybe even more. A Baconator meal was around 12 something with tax. So if you do that, even let's just say during the work week, that's $60
yeah,
right there
pretty much.
a week.
Well, okay, okay. I cut back on breakfast because I used I'm a breakfast individual. I love
Mm,
breakfast, but I try to cut back and not go to Chick-fil-A or uh, Charlie's or something like that for breakfast. So what I've done is I bring a little watermelon. So I bring
mm,
watermelon to work, a whole one. Well, just a little one, about $5 or whatever, and it lasts me for
mm.
at least 3 days. I eat that for breakfast, and then I get whatever I want for lunch or whatever.
Right.
So because if you like you say, if you buy breakfast and lunch on the daily, that's a lot of money. That's a
Well,
lot of money.
that would be closer to probably $20 a day, in which case you'd be spending $100 just during the work week. And let's
Right,
say Sunday morning you want to go out and grab a couple donuts at Dunkin' or a Starbucks coffee. You're spending around $120,
right. I'm,
$130 a week on food.
right. I try to for breakfast. I try to eat very healthy, like fruit for
Mhm.
breakfast or whatever. But if I feel like I need something hot in my stomach, I go to Charlie's or whatever and get some hot grits or whatever. But I am trying to cut back because yes, you can spend a lot of money just between breakfast and lunch. You
Think
know,
about this.
maybe
Think
I need to
about
go to
this for a
Publix
minute.
because Publix feed you for free, child.
Now, we're single people. So when we go buy a meal, it's basically our meal. Think about if you have a significant other and a child, maybe two children. When you're going into McDonald's, that alone is a $50 to $60 meal.
Yeah, which is
I
foolishness.
so is that I would consider that a luxury meal
Yeah, I mean when you
because
when you say that,
when else were you going to spend $60 on food in one sitting other
right?
than a
That's
luxury
crazy.
store? Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, especially for McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or something. That's foolishness
Yeah.
because especially when you have a significant other, like you say, one or two kids, and when they come up in the $40-$50 range, that's crazy to me. Because at that point, you might well go sit down somewhere and have a nice dinner somewhere. You know, because
I
I
was
could go to Red Lobster and get their biscuits and a salad, child, and I'll be fine.
I mean, you could do Applebee's 10.99 for you
Right,
times 4. That's $45 right there.
right.
And I actually was across from an SUV at a McDonald's, and he was buying food. I guess they were leaving the area. They had out of state plates. It rang up to $53 worth of food for that SUV family.
Yeah, it's
So
it's it's crazy. It's
it,
very crazy.
I see where a lot of people are coming that, I'm not going to do it anymore. It's a luxury. We may do it once a month, and prices are out of hand. prices are out of hand.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yes.
that's craziness right there.
But I hope people sit and think about, budgets and everything, especially when you have a huge family. Some people can afford it and some people can't. So, it's just me. So I still be like, oh Lord, I've done spent $100 this week just on eating
Mhm,
out or whatever. So I try to change that a little bit.
mhm. And you know how you can really change it is get a great leader in there who can turn this country around and bring us back to prosperity.
And that's true. That's
Right.
really true. But hey, only time will tell. You should always be prepared, be prepared for the worst, when it do comes to our face. But it is what it is. Yes, you can turn it around by a great leader, but
Right.
who's to say? We won't know until a couple more months.
Yes. But those rallies are going to be insane now.
Oh yeah, I'll be
Yes.
watching and paying attention. But for now, I have to go out of state.
Yes. You're taking a trip,
I'm taking a trip.
but hopefully we'll be back for next week.
Correct, correct.
Okay. All right.
Safe travels. I got to go to Vegas and
Mhm.
for 6 days. I don't come back to uh Wednesday night at
What's
9:30. I think it is
okay.
when we
Okay.
land. Lord's willing. But yes,
Mhm.
so someone just texted me, asked me, did I get my flight details? So,
Mhm.
um, me and Anthony want to thank each and every one that tuned in with us tonight.
Mhm.
Um, it was a great show. I love the
Mhm.
topics, but I do have to go because
Yes.
I did some packing. I just had a busy day for whatever reason. I tried not to,
Mhm.
but it still turned out. I'm in the process of packing and all that other stuff because I have to move in another month or two. So I just like to be prepared. But I got to get up early in the morning. I got to get up at like four
Right.
thirty in the morning. So
We understand. So we're gonna let you go.
okay,
One announcement before you go. In two
okay.
weeks is going to be our 1 year anniversary of the show. So we'll be doing a little celebration for that. And as we get more details on it, we'll be delivering those details to everyone out there. So are you excited? You made it a year and you haven't
We
been
made it a
banned.
year. We made it. Thank
So
God. It's amazing. It's a journey, but we're thankful. We appreciate everyone that tune in, leave comments. It's just a blessing. There's nothing else we could say that, we're thankful. And we love each and every one of you. And me and Anthony, like always, we love you for free. And good night.
okay, before you go, safe trip, Mary Jade says.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
We're going
you.
to say
All
goodbye
right.
and we'll
Good
talk a
night.
little more about Trump.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Good night.
All right. Yes.
Okay. And he's out. So we're going to talk a little more about the. And we're going to talk a little more on the Trump verdict. There we go. Now we're looking right. So, what does it mean going forward? Like we talked about, there's some appeals going on. Those appeals will not be um, put through completely till after the election. So, nobody's going to really know where it stands from there. Uh, I I'm almost assured they will be able to file the appeal before the sentencing, which may hold the sentencing up. So he may not be going to jail right away, as everyone thinks. Do I think there will be jail time? I think they might. This judge has proven that he is not on Donald Trump's side at all, and he may possibly sentence him to, I mean, anywhere maybe 6 months, maybe a year. Can he be elected if he is in jail? Yes, he can. Can he run while he is in jail? Yes, he can. We've seen other people do this. There's nothing in the Constitution that says by you being in jail, you cannot run for president. Will this incite a lot of people? I think it'll incite the hardline people. I think a lot of what you would say normies, the regular people, they're kind of just sitting on the sideline trying to keep their life afloat. And something like this, they see it, but it's not a fire in them to do anything. The MAGA people will definitely be rallying. I hope there's a rally here in Orlando. But I don't think it's gonna excite your regular liberal voter right now. Your progressive voter is super excited because they want to see Donald Trump fail. They want to see him held from being president. I don't even think they care who the president becomes. There's not a lot of enthusiasm for Biden. There's not a lot of enthusiasm for Harris. As I said earlier, I'm not sure Biden may even be the candidate. You may have Newsom and Harris. You may have Newsom and somebody else. But it's scary to see that they're so concerned that they just don't want him in. Mary Jade says, Jesse Waters says New York has turned against Trump. Do you believe that? I don't know if I believe the state is completely turned. The last election, I believe they said 5 million people voted for Biden and around 3 million voted for Trump. You might see 48 and 42. It'll definitely get closer. I don't know if he'll win it, but it's definitely a lot closer in New York than it was from the last go round. So there we go. Do you believe that? Yes. There were polls done, and 5 of the 6 swing states of all the swing states that were polled, 6 of them, 5 of them were going for Trump. And going by like 5 or 6% at least difference. So you're definitely seeing people flip. Georgia is definitely Trump now. Pennsylvania looks very much like Trump. I think Wisconsin was the only one that's kind of still Biden. And Biden's not going out and campaigning. Every weekend, you're seeing photos of him on the Delaware beach or stuck up in the White House, not actually going out anywhere. And if this is the same campaign they ran in 2020, it's not going to win you because everybody knows people are going out now. You're going to festivals, you're going out to the movies, you're going out to eat, you're going on vacations, you're traveling. There's no more belief that you have to stay home and you have to sit there and you cannot go out anywhere and you cannot enjoy it anymore. If you look up the Bronx rally from last week, had to be tens of thousands of people there, very close together, who don't believe that you have to be stuck in your home anymore. They want to see candidates who are coming out. And it was both strategic and opportunistic for Trump to go to the Bronx because he was stuck there for his trial. But also, this was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's home district. And if you see what's going on Roosevelt Ave and that area just type that in and look up videos of people walking around there and what they see. There are just migrants, illegal immigrants, prostitutes, there's drug use, there are people getting randomly attacked, there are muggings, there are murders, people being thrown in the subway. this is the district that she so proudly represents, but doesn't do anything for. So by Trump going in there and saying, listen, I hear you. I hear you, people. I see what's going on, and I want to come back to fix it all. Does he have the ability to do it? Yeah, I think he does. Because now you have 4 years of Biden and 4 years of Trump to compare. A lot of people, stated, "Oh, you don't know what's going to happen if Trump does another 4. He's going to take everything away." But you see that when things were being taken away, who was president? President Biden. So you have these 2 case studies now to compare, and when you compare it, a lot of people feel like they were a lot better under Trump. So I don't want to call this a red wave. That that word got blown up in 2022. It's not good. This is more just a coming to peace moment. I think people realize I had a better job, I had more income, I had a better way of living, and I don't like where I'm at right now. Some people are angry, some people are sad, some people are empathetic towards others and see what they're going through and feel bad and may say, we need a change. We need a change. So again, I think this could be a moment that hundreds of years from now they look back on and say, wow, like this is where things really changed. This is where things really shuffled. And this decade seems to be that kind of a decade that is really going to shuffle a lot of stuff in the world. Um, you have wars going on right now that under a different president, I don't think would have happened. I'll say even under Obama, you didn't have wars. You know, you had a few invasions here and there, but they got settled. Like these are full out wars going on right now in Israel and in Ukraine and in Gaza. And it's it's absolutely crazy to think that like the world is in war. It's wild. So and America's not stepping in. America's not doing anything right now. The only thing we're doing is supplying arms and supplying money to people. That's all we're doing right now. I'm not saying we need to go in and do anything, but America has always tried to be the pillar to what everyone looks at, and people are starting to turn away around the world, and that's not good. That's not good at all because who are they going to turn to? So again, hopefully this rallies MAGA and the Republican Party all together to say, hey, we need to win this election. To the libertarians, I say, listen, I know he kind of, farted at you this weekend, but I would say take a look at your candidate and take a look at the Republican candidate. And I'm not, I'm not against having a third party, but you guys got to get somebody who has some enthusiasm and has some range to be able to talk to people and talk to a lot of different people. I think Chase Oliver, I think, kind of boxes himself in with some of the things he said that some people won't take him seriously. So, you know, this is a moment where you kind of look at everything and say, where are we at and where do we want to go? So, just wanted to take a couple extra moments to kind of really hit home with everyone that, we had a whole show prepared today, and this kind of blew up at 5 o'clock and just kind of dropped in. And you got to cover stuff like this. This is not something you can like just piddle around and say, let everybody else take care of it. No, 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 no. Come here to watch response to big issues. We tackle everything. We're not going to do it one sided. We tackle everything, every issue, every moment, everything that happens. We're on every Thursday. So if something happens Tuesday, we'll talk about it on Thursday. But this is where you should come to be able to air your grievances on the Angriest Man show. And on 2 Men in a Room, we're going to talk about topics and we're going to discuss it and we'll have our views on everything. and it's really fun to sit here and talk. And I'm really happy to everyone who commented tonight, everyone who's watching. If you're watching on playback, feel free to drop a comment. We'll respond to that. And have a great night, everyone. It's been a really crazy day. And like I say, it's going to be a crazy year. So be prepared. Next Thursday, we're on. And like I said, in 2 weeks will be our 1-year anniversary. So we're going to have some great shows coming up. Make sure you're subscribed and you're following on Rumble. We're on Rumble and we're on YouTube. And you'll get the notifications of when the show starts and what's going on with our channels. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great night. We'll see you next Thursday.